I do want to go ahead and look into some money matters here. The Harris-Walz campaign raised $36 million in the first 24 hours after Governor Tim Walz was announced as her running mate. This, of course, coming on the heels of Harris raking in more than double the Trump campaign last month. Tim, will she be able to keep this up? Is this just a sugar high?
No, I think there are moments in campaigns where you see a lot of a huge spike in fundraising. Obviously, the VP announcement going into the convention is also going to be a big moment. The debates, depending on how the candidates perform, that's going to be a big moment. But I think what's interesting, there's two things here. One is there's an infrastructure question. The Democratic processor of money, Act Blue, stayed up during these surges. Donald Trump had his own surges. Win Red crashed. So that's problematic for the Republican Party. But I will also say it's a question of where does this money go and how does it get used? And on that question, the Harris campaign is way ahead. You've got 260 coordinated offices across battleground states. You've got 1,400 paid staff. We just don't hear those numbers from the Trump campaign. And sometimes when donors ask, either from wealthy donors to grassroots donors, where is my money going? They want to know. And I think the Harris campaign has a good story to tell there. I'm not so sure about the Trump campaign.
Whitley, what are your thoughts? What is Trump doing now to try to get more money? Of course, meeting set, right?
I think it's interesting. She has all of these offices and all of this money rolling in and still no policies on her website. People are running off vibes and deciding to vote for her based off a feeling or basically not wanting to see Trump win. The truth is that Hillary Clinton was able to raise $1.6 billion while Donald Trump was able to raise about $600 million in 2016. And we know how that ended. I'm sure Tim can tell us how that ended. It doesn't matter the money. It matters the people's hearts. And the truth is that sticks and stones may break my bones, but inflation is hurting my pockets. And right now, Americans are feeling it. So she's able to raise this kind of money while Americans are struggling to pay for gas, are struggling to purchase eggs. So I think it's going to be interesting because the real money that matters is when you take your check and you go to the ballot box.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about Trump campaigning in Montana last night. Let's take a look at some of these new poll numbers. Trump with a very sizable lead over VP Harris, with incumbent Democratic Senator Jon Tester locked in a very tight race with Republican Tim Shea. Whitley, do you think Trump's event last night will have an impact? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think it's incumbent upon the top of the ticket on both sides of the aisle to really understand the importance of helping down ballot races, because it will honestly help the entire country. So making sure that you have a strong Senate, making sure that your candidates running for Congress are able to benefit not only from the gravitas of your campaign, but also from your presence. And so him being in Montana is very signatory of making sure that down ballot races are able to capitalize off of the Trump momentum.
Very interesting, but you got the Harris-Walz campaign. They're in the swing states, which may be more important. I do also want to talk about a new ad from the Harris-Walz team. They've got this new ad. It's targeting Latino voters across battleground states. Let's take a listen.
When you're raised by an immigrant mother, you learn what's possible with determination.
And determination is how Kamala Harris
went from working in McDonald's to prosecutor,
State Attorney General,
U.S. Senator, and our Vice President in only one generation.
So, Tim, I want to ask you, do you think that this messaging will resonate with the Latino voters?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is an ad that is about the American dream. It's about the joy of being able to be in this country and to pull yourself up and carve a path for yourself and for your family. So I think it's very effective messaging. I think, what's interesting, again, about the Harris campaign is you're seeing them on a lot of different fronts, on paid advertising, on immigration with this ad, with some digital advertising, on the abortion issue that's being advertised across battleground states. You're seeing a really robust paid media advertising blitz. And that's also something that you can only do. Yes, money is not determinative, but it's good to have it in a campaign when you have the resources to do it. So they're doing a blitz right now. It makes a lot of sense. I think it's a great ad.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.